Hello and welcome to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwell alongside Kevin Robinson. Fresh off a trip to Lexington, we talked to you last week about this meet with the men and the women. It was an individual meet. You had high expectations going in. Really not sure how the team would come back. You only had them for a few days coming back from Christmas break, but you guys tore it up in Lexington.
Yeah, I think we got off to a pretty good start. Yeah, you're right. We brought them back last Monday. We basically had 3 training days and a travel day and into our first competition. So we knew going in that we weren't going to be at our best, but the challenge was, no matter where we are physically, just to compete with some composure, and kind of be able to put ourselves in a position where we were physically at the time, not necessarily where we want to be, but just to compete at the level we were ready to compete at, and not let any other schools or any other circumstance or situation get in the way. And that, I felt like we did a pretty good job of that. We did get off to a good start. We had we set a couple of school records this week. I think that says a lot, really. Our 4x4 on the women's side, they broke their own school record from last year. And quite frankly, the girls they're not in shape yet. So when they get really fit and in competitive shape, they're going to be a formidable team, I believe. And then Sabrina, who's just a sophomore for us, she tied the school record in the vault. She did a great job. And I think all in all, we had a pretty good meet. Manuel in the triple jump, he won. He was over 50 feet. I think it puts him like 3rd or 4th in the country at this time, which we know it won't stay there, but we also know he's going to jump a lot farther. So I think it's a good start for him. And Giorgio, he won the high jump for us again. He's a little off of his personal best, but again, he hasn't jumped in 4 weeks. So to come off the Christmas break and get 1 jump session in and then be able to go win a meet like that, I think is saying quite a bit.
Anybody surprise you up in Lexington?
I think we have a freshman decathlete by the name of Lewis Hansler. And Lewis made the finals in the long jump, made the final in the hurdle, and he also was a member of our 4x4 team. I don't remember where the men finished, but he ran a sub 50 leg as a decathlete. I was really happy with his performance. He showed a lot of composure, and he's a decathlete and he's competing in open events with some great open event competition. So I'm really excited for what he brings to the table this year in the multis. I thought all in all, our women's team did a pretty good job. We've talked a lot over the last couple of years about the building process that team has gone through. And, we had a lot of girls compete at a really high level, and they showed a lot of competitive determination at this meet. And that's the thing I'm really looking for with them. Because I think when our conditioning and our shape matches our motivation and our dedication, then the women's team's really going to take off.
And we talked about that last week going up to Lexington. Would this be the year the women's team really made that next step, really busted out on the scene? And obviously, I know it's just one individual meet so far, but they've definitely made a mark and maybe made a statement that this is a big year for them.
Yeah, I really believe there's no way for me to predict how they're going to finish. A lot of factors, but we're talented and we've got the right attitude and we've got the right people in place. So I know that girls team will continue to develop and continue to be successful, more successful than we've been in the past. So I feel like the future is really bright for that group. And, we can't discredit the men because the men have been traditionally much stronger over the course of the last few years. But I feel like we have a men's team in place that quite possibly is the most athletically gifted program that we've ever had here. So, it's hard for me not to get too excited or too boisterous, I guess, about the team's potential. We've got to keep, our pace and make sure that we're taking things one step at a time. But I think this team can be extremely good.
Do you find that friendly rivalry between the women's team and the men's team now that the women's team has moved up, that don't let the men or don't let the women outdo you and try to get that competitive nature going?
Yeah, there's definitely some of that. We have quite a bit of talking. When the girls outperform the guys or vice versa, we all train together and we're one team and one family and we do most things together. So you're going to have that brother-sister kind of rivalry, and we've got a lot of that. And as coaches, we kind of we plant some seeds here and there to make sure that we keep a little bit of tension between the groups. And it's a really fun group to be a part of, and it's everything that we do, there's some jesting and there's some fun. And but when it comes down to it, I mean, we're a really, really close-knit group, and we're all pulling for each other, men and women. And it's just a really exciting time to be a part of that program.
Talk about your experience up in Lexington over the weekend. Did you get were you surprised, or did you get to sit back and just smile at times? Because in Memphis, following all the Twitter stuff, it just kept popping up. It seemed like every hour there was a school record broken, or you had another athlete get up on the podium where it was a women's member or a men's member. They kept getting a lot of news about how successful you guys were.
There was a couple of times during the meet where I thought about standing back and smiling, but I couldn't allow myself to do it because, like I said, we are gifted, we're talented, we have a lot of potential, but we're a long, long way from where I want us to be. And we're not going to put ourselves in a position where we're going to sit back and smile. We're going to keep pushing, keep working. We're going to demand excellence out of ourselves and out of each other. And I think that's one of the things that's really going to keep this group moving.
You had to be happy, not just with the results up there, but coming back with the 3 days of training last week. Even though they're not quote-unquote fit at the peak where you want them to for the remainder of the season, you wouldn't want them to peak at this point yet, I'm sure. But coming back off the Christmas layoff, this team came back in pretty good shape, which means they took care of business while they were on their own.
Yeah. There's a noticeable difference between how this group came back after Christmas and some of the previous years. And I kind of alluded to this the last time we spoke, that when you're part of a winner, it's a lot easier to get motivated to continue, not only to contribute to the success, but to build on it. And I think that's where we're at right now. Everybody knows that we've got something special going. And it's a lot easier to go home and stay dedicated and stay motivated, so that, number one, you don't let yourself down, you don't let your team down, you don't let your coaches down, but you come back, you continue to build and improve upon something that we feel like this university has never had. So like I keep saying over and over, it's a great time to be a part of this program, and it's exciting. There's some electric in the air. Every day when we get to practice, kids are excited, they're motivated. So we just got to keep doing what we're doing and pray that we don't get hurt.
Well, you try to keep that momentum going up this weekend. You're going to go up to Eastern Illinois and participate this weekend. I believe it's the John Kraft Invitational. Tell us a little bit about what you might see up there.
Well, the purpose of this meet is a little bit different than last weekend. We went to Kentucky to get on that oversized track. Curves aren't very tight there, gives us a little more elite level competition. Going to Eastern, we're on a 200-meter flat track. It's not going to be as fast. So our 200 and up group, the 2, the 4, and into the middle distance and distance groups, it's not going to be as fast as what we saw in Kentucky. So with that group, we're really working on our competitiveness, how to deal with some adversity, how to deal with a facility that may not be exactly what would be ideal. And on the flip side of that, it's going to be a huge opportunity for our field eventers, because now our field eventers are kind of back in the swing a little bit. So we shook off a little of that rust. Our techniques are getting a little bit sharper. So it'll give that group a chance to go in and hopefully really improve upon some of their marks. And finally, it's a tune-up for the decathletes and heptathletes who will touch up on some of their weaker field events and some of their other events. Because moving forward next weekend, we go to Kentucky again, and that will be our first multi-event competition where we get to turn loose those decathletes and heptathletes and see where we're at.
Is EIU going to be another individual meet, or will that score team points?
This is an individual meet. No team scoring will be kept on it. So it allows us the flexibility to put some kids in some events where they normally wouldn't compete, get some exposure, maybe get some jitters out, especially for those multi-eventers who wouldn't normally vault, but they have to vault next weekend in the HEP. So, like, shake out some of the rust there and just get ready. And I think it'll be an exciting time for us, and we'll come back with hopefully some more records and some more personal bests.
All right, well, Coach, congratulations on the great weekend at Lexington, and best of luck this weekend at EIU.
Thank you.
That is Kevin Robinson. I'm Jeff Brightwell. This is the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.